Welcome to Q&A practice. We'll go ahead and get started with some two-voice Q&A. We'll start with the defense. Ready? You have talked about people being in the street, around the bank, and north of the bank, and around the bonfire. Were there any people wandering around south of the bank? As far as I know, there were just people walking around the bank all night long. You have testified that you didn't know any of the people who were throwing rocks. That's true. Aside from that, roughly how many people did you encounter that evening that you knew? Oh, approximately 15, I think. I am not sure. And you talked to them? Yes, I did. And they were sort of wandering around as you were? Yes, they were. Among the 15 or so that you say you knew, did any of them throw any rocks? I didn't see them throwing any rocks. Was there much foot traffic to the south of the bank? Were there people milling around on the street? At various periods, yes. Sometimes the street was clear, would you say? Sometimes, yes. You were standing across from the bank, is that correct? That's correct. At one time, there was a big group of people between you and the bank? Yes. At that time, did you hear any breaking glass? I heard breaking glass for quite a long period of time. Was the crowd tightly packed or not? At times it was tight, and at times it was loose. Well, could you have seen through the crowd in order to see who was pitching the rocks at the time you heard glass breaking? If they were in the street, yes. Right, now we'll do some practice from our transcript. This will have some four-voice in it, so that'll be good practice. We'll start with the plaintiff. Ready? How far over on the easement area has this use been? I couldn't tell you that. I'm not sure. Approximately how wide is the easement? The abandoned railroad property? Yes. My understanding is 120 feet wide. How much of that 120 feet have you been using for the purposes you've just indicated? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think part of the confusion here is, as he's indicated, there's never been a clear boundary on that side. So you're asking him how far over, and it could be 120, or I'll keep trying. You can keep trying, but I'm not going to be able to tell you because I'm not sure how much of the property has been used. You still use some of the property today? Yes, we do. Do you use any more of the property? Strike that. Is the same area you use today the same area that you've always used? No, Have you used more area in the past than you use now? Have we used more area in the past? Yes, I believe we have. And, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, except for the far part that used to be a hill, and now it's graded. We bring our trucks in there, and they back up on the property. I'll ask the reporter to mark this as Exhibit 1 for identification. Maybe this will help us a little bit. In pink, I have marked that lot must be ours. Is that what you're saying? For purposes of understanding, the area in pink is what I believe to be the railroad abandoned easement we're talking about. It's my understanding that what I put in green is your property. That's correct. Does that appear to be a correct analysis of the two pieces I've outlined? It appears to be our property. I'm not for sure because I really don't know the boundaries of it. I've always used this whole area here as our property. First, to clarify, I'm not saying that this is your exact property. I'm only using this as an approximation. Do you understand that? I understand. What I'd like to do then is show you what I'll mark as Exhibit 2, and that is simply a blow-up of the green area, which I will, again, mark in green on Exhibit 1. And I will represent that I believe that is your property. What I'd like for you to do, if you would, is take a pin on Exhibit 2 and just, to your best approximation, indicate where the office building was constructed. And would you indicate approximately where the crane was? Yes. And would you, in the place where the office building, maybe you ought to label these. That's what I was going to have him do. Put O for office and C for crane. You indicate there was some asphalt placed in 72. Where was that placed? Here. All right, that will conclude our Q&A practice. Thank you.